Offensive side of the football. Let's start with the Dolphins. Tua was trash today. He actually got benched. He actually got benched. He was a veteran. 12 of 23, 100 yards, 4.3 average, three interceptions, sacked twice, 24.1 rating. Nasty work. Bye-bye. Quinn Ewers came in the game. He was not much better. He almost threw a pick the first part of the game. He looks just as pedestrian as I thought he would look. Devon Achane had some nice runs and bursts, but the Cleveland Browns defense held him in check. The only way they were scoring points today was letting Devon Achane kill him. They didn't let it happen. 13 carries, 82 yards, no touchdowns. Ali Gordon didn't do much. The Miami receiving, if your quarterback got 100 yards, we're not even reading their stats. That's not what we're going to do. But the Cleveland Browns at quarterback weren't much better. 13-18. 13-18. 6.4 for Dillon Gabriel, 89.1 rating. Now let's talk about that. I thought he could have threw an interception that went right through the defender's hand. Jerry Jeudy caught it. There was another interception that he had. He threw that football, and they called a holding on, I think, Minkah Fitzpatrick. That was questionable, but we'll take it. It was questionable, though. And most of his throws were bootlegs, things that are still under 5 yards, under 10 yards, and somewhere in that area. I thought Kevin Stefanski did a good job of creating a way that did not put the team at a disadvantage. And I think Kevin Stefanski all week felt the heat from people saying, oh, no, this isn't it. This offense isn't it. You're throwing the ball 52 times, 58 dropbacks for Dillon Gabriel. He ain't did nothing. And guess what? He came out today and said, you know what we're going to do? We're not even going to put the ball in his hands. We're going to have Quinshawn Judkins come back here, and he's going to take these wildcat snaps. And we're not even giving no opportunities. Won't be no fumbles or nothing. He understood the assignment. It's raining, you stick with the run. If you take a look at it, if you get rid of the one long run of 46, you're looking at 24 carries for 40-some yards. That ain't crazy. But here's how the game of football works. If you keep going at it, you can break one. And now all of a sudden your average don't look too bad. Kicking field goals, you know what you do? Let's go ahead and direct snap it back to him and let's see what he can do. And those 3 touchdowns in the red zone turned out to be what it was. Other than that, nothing crazy. Harold Fanning, 4 catches, 36 yards. Jamari Thrash had 1 catch. 2 catches for Jeudy for 17. I knew I should have sat you down for a reason. I did. Malachi Corley caught a nice screen pass, but that was half of it what it was. So you guys got to look at it like this. They basically said, we understand what the goal is. We got to come out of here with a victory. But let me tell you this. I said this before, just keeping the football clean and throwing for 100 yards here or there is not going to keep your job. And I think a lot of people say this all the time, and this is what it is. I said this back in camp. You win from the pocket as a quarterback. You're going to be able to win and be a franchise quarterback if you can win from 10, 25 yards downfield. That's where your money is made, because those are the throws that you need: accuracy, touch, anticipation, and understanding that you need to be able to cut it loose and let it go. I watched the film. We watched it right here on the film review with Tyvis, and we talked about throws that he wouldn't let go. Now, in this game, you're going to be able to get away with that, because what we're going to do is we're going to get turnovers. We're going to get the team down. There's no need to put the ball in harm's way. And as a matter of fact, we're going to make sure we ain't doing it, because we'll run Wildcat. But that ain't what it is. Dillon Gabriel, in my opinion, we talked about on UCSS. His superpower is, I'm going to be mid. And by the way, I can't even really truly say he's really safe with the football, because he has multiple turnover-worthy throws a game. Eventually, that'll catch up with him. And my thought process is this. For people get a little anxious, right? They get a little anxious and like, yo, I need to see Shador Sanders tomorrow or right now in this game, because they feel like it needs to be a progression. No. That ain't the way it works now. So when you're the backup quarterback, that means it's close. That's close. Like, it ain't that big of a gap. And the longer you continue to play and people start carrying you, when they're carrying you, when the team is carrying you, when the defense has to have 3 turnovers and a pick 6 for you to get points, at some point in time, it ain't just about whether or not you keeping the ball or keeping the games close or you doing what you need to do. At some point, they're going to say, look, we've made the evaluation that his upside is backup quarterback. Everybody in the building, whether they want to put it to you like this or not, they understand that. Because if they didn't understand that, they wouldn't have traded Joe Flacco. The goal has always been to see if he is a franchise quarterback. And by the way, it has never been a situation where we think that Dillon Gabriel has better traits than Shador Sanders. No pundit has ever said that. No draft analyst, no player, no ex-coach, none of those guys. So the thought process is that, hey, because you win a football game and your defense and the running game dominated, then you can't critique what's going on at quarterback. That's a falsehood. That's not, I don't need the Cleveland Browns to get blown out in order to make a change at quarterback. I don't even need for the Cleveland Browns to be sputtering. All I got to look and say is, okay, does the dude behind him have a higher upside, a better opportunity to become a franchise quarterback and have a skill set that we feel like is better suited to getting not just wins, but competing at the top level, not just skating with the Dolphins. I need you to do that against the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bills and the division guy. So I don't need to sit here and tell you Dillon Gabriel was trash and the Cleveland Browns need to lose every game before people can consider talking about Shador Sanders. Because at the end of the day, just not losing the game at quarterback won't keep your job. Again, you know why? Because if that was the prerequisite, he would have never traded Joe Flacco. So when people say, put him in now and see if the progression is, no, I'm not doing that. For what? Because when he get an opportunity, like I always kept it a buck. See this, you got to think like this. You got to think like this. I'm not out here telling people, hey, take Dillon Gabriel out the game today. I need Dillon Gabriel to be out of the game right now. For what? Because here's what y'all got to understand. The second Shador Sanders gets in a football game, please believe all of the patience that I'm affording Dillon Gabriel, Shador Sanders will not get that. We've seen it already. We've seen it in one football game, how that works. He played well in the first game against the Panthers. Now, all of a sudden, that game does not count. I don't count Tony Grossi as an analyst. That's why I don't count him as an analyst. He's a journalist. We're not listening to that. We already know that. That foolishness, we stopped mentioning him weeks ago. He's theater at this point. But the reality of the situation is they're not going to afford him that level. He played well the Panthers game. He played, by the way, he still didn't turn the ball over against the Rams, but people was ready to say he's not ready to ever play because of a preseason game. But we've already broken that down. So here's what I'm telling you as we continue to move this thing forward. Dillon has played 3 games. He has 3 or more to play with no pressure of Shador. Then Shador should have the last 6 unbothered. Somebody catching. Let me drink some water on that. Beautifully Blessed is locked in today. You know why I feel she's locked in? She understands the game. See, this game is chess, not checkers. This game is chess. And in chess, game is a patience game. Game is a game where strategy, chess, you got to be thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead because you got to realize just like you should learn from what we learned earlier. The Rams game, they made it like that's the only game Shador Sanders ever played. Panthers game don't count. Think about how many people don't mention that game. How many people only talk about the Rams game? So you guys should already know what type of thumb is on the scale when it comes to Shador Sanders. He got to overdo it. He got to overproduce. So what Beautifully Blessed is pointing out, he got 3 games. He got 3 more if you want them. I want to see at least 7 games. I actually think that if, take a look at the couple weeks, he got another bye week. He got a situation where he's playing at New England, and then you got at Jets. If they let him have all those games, right, that means he would have played, is that 6? He played 3. No, that would only mean he played 5 because I'm only trying to do 5 if it ain't working with the bye week. I'm only trying to do 5. And then Shador has 7. But in order to do that, you have to be a little unbothered and be like, let's see what he got. Have an opportunity to prove you wrong or right. Because what I'm going to do is when Shador gets in the game, I'm going to remind them about everything I just said right now. I don't want to hear none of that. How many times I didn't say Dillon Gabriel 3rd round pick. How many times you heard me say that? When he didn't score no touchdowns, I didn't come out here and go crazy. I still ain't said, you know what? Dillon Gabriel is pure hot garbage. I never said that. I've actually said that he's actually a serviceable backup. And you know what? He's not. He can go come in the game and he ain't going to make it look like this guy is incompetent. No, but I need that same energy when the other quarterback is in. G-Dub, we should start to hear things about Mr. Watson. He'll be ready after the bye. That's the plan. Deshaun Watson, I've already said how I feel about this. There's a large contingency of people who are willing to be like, oh, Deshaun Watson is completely washed. But there's been multiple other players who look just as bad, if not worse, in this system with Kevin Stefanski. I've also said that they colluded on the guy. After the Browns gave him that contract, and it came out that to the entire league, said under no circumstances will you ever give out a contract like that. And they had to make some emergency meetings to let them know. We're not going to do that. But I do believe that they said, listen, Deshaun, if you are a good soldier, you mentor, you don't make no noise in social media, you ain't no more cases, and you continuously stay on this roster without being a distraction, we, the NFL, will make sure, because you can't cut them, to field the team. So if you cool and you don't mess up, we'll make sure you got another opportunity to play somewhere else. And they collectively agreed to that. But it's a long shot for me to think that he's going to play. Could it happen if all of them get hurt? Sure. But I don't think at this point they would have made that statement, calling that a mistake and then playing them again. I just don't see it. And it's not because I'm against it. I'm just sitting there thinking about the way the league works and how they maneuver and make backroom deals. TW says DGs and the team win would have been overshadowed if Sylvester got in. Kevin wasn't having it. That's another good point. Managed the game, still didn't look like some of the throws he made, but we won. Like I told people weeks ago, you should beat the Dolphins. But also, there's something you can do. It's called critiquing what's going on. If they want to play that type. Now, if the defense plays like this, Dillon Gabriel can definitely have a lower ceiling in order to win football games. But if the defense isn't giving you turnovers, if they isn't lights out, if you're not getting nothing in the running game, there's no way he can play at this level with some of the things that he's doing for them to win games. So, yeah, you can get a win and be happy about it, but that don't mean that change your mind whether somebody's a long-term answer at quarterback. Brody's bottom line, the 2026 class is looking like nasty work. Browns can draft Tate. Ole Miss got a few I would take as well. Well, the quarterback in 26, I heard somebody say Carson Beck, the man threw 4 picks. It should have been 5. The guy that's most consistent right now, and I would say this year, is Mendoza from Indiana. However, there's this pause. I mean, he's done it for 1 year. Granted, he's been really solid now, and I do think that he has some really nice traits as a quarterback. However, let's not get it twisted. He's not going to come in and change your whole life. As a matter of fact, guys, it's a perfect time to talk about this. Coming up on Wednesday, members only on Wednesday, we got Sean King, former NFL quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, former Tulane Green Wave quarterback, also former offensive coordinator for University of South Florida. He will be in breaking down this game for all of the 26 guys. So if you want to figure out who's nice in 26 and if your quarterback's in 26, which I doubt it, you're going to get an opportunity to hear his game and his game footage on Mendoza. It's on Lenore Sellers. It's on Nussmeier. It's on all of these guys. Matier. It's on guys right now. So if you want to know about the quarterbacks and you want to study, go ahead, become a member. We do Wednesday film breakdowns. Last week was Tyvis. This week we're going to get into Sean King, talk about college quarterbacks. It's a great value. It's a great opportunity for you to see the film for yourself with expert analysis with it from all over the industry. So if you want to know and you want to educate yourself so that when people start saying this, that, and the third, you can say, no. Good try. I actually saw them play. I actually saw G. Bush break them down from college. So don't wait for McShay. Don't wait for what they telling you in the spring. Learn now. Become a member. You can check that out.